What it is, America, this is Planet Tyrus. That's right, Planet Tyrus. It's water's world, but it's my planet. Today, my guest, I couldn't be more excited, is Hotep Jesus. But before we get to him and his amazing career and profound thoughts, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a little thing I like to call Tyranting. That's where I go off on a subject matter that's important to me, and then we'll probably talk about it today during our interview. But it's funny during these crazy, they're not even really crazy times, but this time of division, how we keep hearing from pundits and news reporters and journalists about how this has never happened before, and this division in this country, and there's decisions, and what's going on in the world is insane and it's crazy. And that's actually the furthest thing from the truth. And it's like the funniest thing that how I figured this out. It's the weirdest thing. It was a childhood book that I read called Animal Farm. Now, when I read Animal Farm as a child, only thing I was concerned about was Boxer. That was the Boxer, the horse. If you've read that book, Boxer was my guy, because at my age point, all I was pushed on was you have to work hard in life. If you work hard in life, good things come to you. And Boxer in the book emulated that. He moved the rocks. He did the things. The only thing I wish he would have done a little better is maybe pick up the reading a little better, get his education in order. But with the exception of that, Boxer was my guy. And you're like, well, why are you talking about Animal Farm? My bad. Why would I be talking about Animal Farm in today's day and age? It was written in 1942 and literally is the blue book of exactly what's going on right now. Same rhetoric, same division, same thing. So if we continue historically to see these behaviors and these type of this type of propaganda, why are we so surprised when it happens, and why are we never prepared to really deal with it? Why do we wait till it gets to the point where neighbors who have different opinions of who they vote for don't speak to each other? They get so caught up in fighting for people they don't even know. Politicians become best friends that they have no idea who they are. They become bigger than life, or anything there's absolutism. And these are all Marxist things that have historically keep showing up, and it's always eventually defeated. But I never understood why we don't get there. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I believe you. Okay, perfect example. I'm gonna take a little quote here, right? One of the things that we see, and today we call it virtue signaling, but they had it back then too. And it's very simple, and I quote, "No one believes more firmly than Comrade Napoleon that all animals are equal, but sometimes you might make the wrong decision, comrades, and then where it would be." So what it basically means is that the government officials, yes, you're all equal, but they have to be a little more equal than you, because you don't have the intelligence or the understanding of how the world works. So they have to make decisions for you. And to do that, of course, they have to benefit from it. Like they have to have the finest houses, the nicest cars. You can continue to work and struggle, but don't worry, they're going to make sure your life is better. And for a lot of people, they eat into that. And it's Napoleon, for those of you who have not read the book, Napoleon was the lead pig who kind of ran a little coup within a coup to take over the animal farm. Basically what the animal farm is that one day the animals got tired of humans' bullshit, and they said they had enough. And they ran them off the farm, and they were going to start their own government. And it was going to be way better than the government, the way that people did things. So they were going to start from scratch. And their first rule was everybody's equal and everybody shares the same thing. And it always starts out that way. And then as things mature and as things go on, it's really about one person. It's really about that leader and his narrative. And then he has what I like to call in the book, the name of the pig was Squealer, but I actually call pundits today. When you see somebody on a CNN or MSNBC, or even in some cases, even Fox, that comes on the show and they push a narrative, and it doesn't matter what question you ask them, doesn't matter what agreement or disagreement has, they don't break from that narrative. And if you don't agree with the narrative, you are the problem. And then they will go after you to keep their narrative alive. For a perfect example, Napoleon is always right? The leader is always right. Absolutism. Blind party loyalty, cult of personality, and ideology in politics is day and night we are watching over your welfare. It is for your sake that we drink that milk and eat those apples. By the way, that was the best milk and the best apples. None of their apples touched the ground. So all the apples, they hit the ground and shit, the horses and all the lower people in society. They can have all that, but the fresh apples on the tree, that's for leadership. That's for your political power. So and do you know what would happen if we pigs failed in our duty? The people would come back. So then they got to scare you. Like, if you don't vote for us, democracy was going to end tomorrow. In this case, the farmer was going to come back. In our case, we'll lose all our rights. There's no democracy. And he would come back, surely, comrades, and cried Squealer almost pleadingly. They're emotionally invested in their lie because people suck in and they believe it. And whenever you get that, then you end up having the situations you have today. What they want you to be, and even in its Animal Farm, which is crazy because the sheep didn't get much of a big role in the book, but that's what they want us to be, just sheep. They tell us when to eat. They tell us when to go. And if we follow in line and we're not free thinkers and we don't question things, then it's fine. And that's what we've been seeing, to where one party went this route, the Marxist route, to gain control. And unfortunately, for a lot of Americans, the extreme left jumped in on this. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it and has really changed and sculpted the way we are as Americans right now. It's almost like we are living two countries sharing the same space, and the aggressive and the rhetoric and the violence that we've been seeing is a result of that. And usually that's the good news is typically historically, usually that's the beginning of the end. So I'm hopeful for that. And when you think about such a crazy book written in 1942, and as a kid, I read it and completely different. Like I said, Boxer was my guy. He was a big, strong workhorse that did all the stuff. He eventually became a victim of his own circumstance. He blindly followed political leadership, his narrative, whatever their situation was, he was with it 100%. And his answer was always, I will work harder. I will work harder. And that I identified with that because as a kid, that's was like, if I work hard, if I do my homework, if I run my laps, I'll do great things in life. So that message stayed home with him to the point it ended up being his own demise. He's moving rocks, he's moving barrels, he splits his hoof, which means he can no longer do the things for Napoleon and the pig regime that he used to be able to do. He was no longer useful. And he was relying on their promises of, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. This is why we're in charge. This is why we have the good apples and milk. And so he's like, oh, I'm good. I'll have universal health care and I'll spend the rest of my days in a beautiful meadow and it's going to be great. But that's not how it works. The reality is they had no use for him no more. And because he didn't educate himself and he didn't understand the world better, he ended up on a glue truck thinking he was going to a resort or a spa. And that's a lot of us. We don't actually educate ourselves enough in politics, or I hate to say it, common sense when dealing with these politicians. If you have a politician who only ever talks about re-election and only ever talks about what the other guy's doing, he's not representing you. He's representing himself. It's so simple. It's scary sometimes when you look at the dumb shit we fall for. We should not fall when we call somebody on a bad behavior, and it's just in your life. Let's take politics out of it. If you are married to someone and every time they do something wrong or hurt your feelings, and you say, "Hey, why did you show up 45 minutes late to pick me up? I don't understand." And they'll be like, well, "The reason why was because in the morning you made me upset and you threw my whole day off." Like, no matter what you ask them or call it, there's always a reason for why they do things. It's never a real response of like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I lost track of time. I apologize. I'll be better." We never see that with politicians when it comes to something, whenever it's a vote, or in this case, currently we're going through a government shutdown. It's always what the other side's doing. It's never, well, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to fix it. And we might have to take, ladies and gentlemen, as I represent this district, we might not be able to get all four things that we want done, but I will negotiate and hopefully get two of those things. If a politician talked to me like that, I would vote for the guy every time, but that's not how we're talked to. We're talked to like sheep, to where if our side doesn't get everything we ask for, there's no deal. And that's insanity. And that's disruption, because it's always the group that's not in power that's pulling all the bullshit. And what we're seeing with the Democratic Party is then once they got into power, they really tried to turn it up a notch with going after free speech, and not in the ways like it was back. The only way it was different was back in the day, in the 40s and stuff, in places like Russia or Germany or Italy, when you said something they didn't like, your ass disappeared, or you went to a camp or a jail. In America, what they were doing was you didn't physically go to a jail, but they physically put you in a box in a jail in terms of you can't work at your job anymore because you're controversial, because you don't believe in you don't want to get a vaccine. You don't want to get a vaccine shot, which in a free country should be your right, should be your choice. But then you're demonized. And then you're on social media, you're attacked. And all of a sudden, then your job's gone. Then your friendships are gone. So you're not necessarily being put in a jail, but your life is being altered to the point, in a lot of cases, people weren't able to rebound for that. Or then people are seeing it happen. The audience is seeing one person being taken out in the yard and basically verbally stoned by the social media and by politicians and late night talk show hosts and celebrities. And they're seeing this happen. And they're like, well, hey, that's not going to be me. So I'm going to fall in line or I'm going to lie. So they automatically find ways to put you in these boxes. So no, you're not getting dragged off. But then when they're losing power, they tell you the other side's going to drag you off, even though they're the ones who are doing all the controlling of free speech. And we saw it during the entire Biden term, although I refuse to call it the Biden term. I think the auto pen term is actually more accurate. I think President Trump hit a home run with that one. That photo in the White House should stay up. But like I said, if you read Animal Farm as a kid, read it now. It's a quick read. I'm telling you, I read it in the airport. I think I read it in like 45 minutes. So while you're sitting for 2 hours in the Atlanta thing, waiting for your delayed layover to show up, crack that out, read it, and then you go and you watch the news that night, and you literally started signing names to people. Like, I have decided that I'm no longer calling journalists on panels journalists. I'm calling them squealers because they're a squealer. They go on there, they push their agenda. If anyone else challenges them, when's the last time you saw on a TV show where there's a panel and you have ones from both sides and somebody says something profound, and the other side goes like, you know what? I didn't think about it that way. That's a good point. Wow, man. Maybe we could. You know what? I wonder. No, hell no. If you say something I don't agree with, the first thing out of their mouth is, one, if you're a man, you're toxic. If you're a white man, you're racist. If you're a black man, you're not really black. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Whenever they take my blackness away from me, I'm just curious what's left. Like, when I'm not black anymore, what racial identities should I go by, perhaps? Is it which would I fall into? There's never an answer for that either, because you're still black. And it's just it's funny to me when you think about how hard they go instead of just listening and finding common ground. I always thought negotiation meant you might get some of the things you want some of the time, and both sides need to be better about doing for the American people and not doing for their reelection. Or let's just be real, their pocketbooks. I think that's probably the biggest thing that we're dealing with. In Animal Farm, the corruption's different because it's based over food and power. In America, it's money, which leads to that. Once you get the money, then you get the power, to quote the great Scarface movie, and then you can make all the decisions and you get whatever you want. So if you have time, again, like I said, I don't get a dime for Animal Farm if you pick that book up. But I think if you are struggling with trying to understand or want a clearer, better understand of how this government situation is working in a situation to where a sixth grader can digest it and read it, this is a great book, because we hear a lot of things said to us that are just all over the place. And I think it's important that you understand what exactly you're dealing with. So when you do see the squealers, when you do see the bullshit being flung, you'd be like, oh, that's bullshit. Not falling for that. Nope, I have a question. That's another thing too. One of the things in Animal Farm that they always did, no one was allowed to question anything. And we see that in the media. You never see a follow-up question. You'll see a politician on TV so full of shit, it's coming out of his ears. And you're waiting for the so-called journalist to say, how so? Simple. How so? How is that possible? How is he worse than Hitler? Can I have 3 examples of President Trump doing Hitler-like behavior? And just for our audience, please describe to me what exactly is Hitler behavior. What is it? Give me an example. And it's the same thing. It's always the same thing. Oh, he's an existential threat. They use big words that don't mean shit. And then it's like the other day, I went to a drive-through and I've lost a lot of, 147 pounds training and banging and listening to my wife telling me how to eat right. And I don't do fast food at all. Right. And I'm going through, and it was just one of those things where I had one of those days. I was like, let me get a chicken sandwich. I hit up a Wendy's. Right. And I get to the drive-through and the lady says, sir, would you like that deluxe? And I was like, deluxe? Wow, what is that? Is that like extra, fancy, like a lighter breast or some amazing sauce I've never heard of? And I was like, oh, sure, why not? I'll have deluxe. And just, what's deluxe? Lettuce and tomato. That's it. That's not deluxe. That's regular. We have taken a word deluxe, which is supposed to be fancy and special and cool because it's deluxe. Like whenever you get a deluxe package on a vacation, that should be a bigger room, a larger bathtub, your king size bed, maybe some free tickets to the breakfast bar. That's deluxe. But now deluxe to us is the bar. They've just lowered the floor. Everything's on the floor. Deluxe is the floor. And like, oh, hey, that's not how are you comparing that to the political climate? It's the same thing. They take words that should mean one thing and they change the definition of the word to fit their narrative. So now deluxe is basically average. So I'm no longer, not that deluxe was a major part of my vocabulary, but if I was ever in a situation where I wanted to say, well, we have deluxe accommodations, I'm basically saying we have running water and I think all the windows close. And that's what we have to start educating ourselves about. We have to pay attention and spend less time watching. I know that sounds crazy, but, of course, watch, 10 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Take an hour, watch the Gutfeld show with yours truly. But, just break it up. Like pick if you're watching news 24 hours a day, you got to cut that in half or a quarter. Like go outside. There's this green, crunchy shit called grass. It's phenomenal. Like go take a walk. Like get away from it all. On the weekends, don't watch it at all. Just you're not missing nothing. Just turn it off and get back into the world. Get back to knowing your neighbors. Start putting this political stuff behind you, because once you understand it and once you see for what it is, you can call them out on their stuff before they even do it. And if enough of us get together to do it, they're going to have to change, because what will happen is we'll start voting their incompetent, greedy asses out of office, because that's really the craziest thing to me. All of them are there because of us. And that's the part that we can control. And once we realize that we can control those things and we can don't vote for a guy because you disagree with it, whether he wears an elephant or a donkey on his chest. Vote for a guy because you agree with his messaging and you agree with the things that he's going to do in your community that's going to help you. If it doesn't help you, if it doesn't improve your family, then that's not the politician for you. Voting for someone because they're cool or voting for someone because the other guy's evil, you're placing your bet on something that you're being conned. That's the best way to describe it. Politics, we've all been conned. We've been conned to believing that our neighbors are our enemies. And they're not. We all have the same problems. Democrats and Republicans have the same problems. Are there extreme weirdos? Yes, on both sides. But those are the ones they put on camera to make us think there's more of them than there's more of us. And there's not. So I'll leave you with that. That's my Tyrant for whatever. Take your time. Read Animal Farm. I don't think, is there a cartoon or a movie of it? I'm not really sure. There should be. But, like I said, we should all start reading books again. Or I think there's probably an audio of it. If not, maybe that's how I can make my money. I could do the audio of Animal Farm. Just throwing that out there. If there's Orwell people out there, just give me a shout out. But I'm excited because I'm getting ready to move on. This is one of my favorite people. This brother is one of my favorite people. Every time he comes on the Gutfeld show, I know that it's going to be a good night. Because one, I have to raise my game because he's going to bring something to the table. And he's another one. I'm not going to say that Hotep is unpredictable, but he's prepared. I guess that's the best way I would describe it, brother.
Both.
You are prepared at all times, man. And thank you so much for doing this today. And you're an interesting cat.
Thanks, man.
Like you lived a lot of lives.
I have. A lot. Yeah, I wore a lot of hats. Yeah. Business hats, entertainment hats, podcasting, streamer, business owner, dad. Yeah. Yeah.
How... it's hard to get one job. And this is what we have so much in common, because we both wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And I've been fired a lot.
I've been fired from every job I've ever had.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad that I'm the only one that's honest about that.
That's why I do this. Like I tell people, I literally tell my audience, I'm like, listen, you guys have to send me super chats and kick because I am not employable. I've tried to get a job and I get fired 6 months later, I'm gone. So I'm not employable.
Is it because you end up, because I always got canned because I always end up being smarter than my boss and it start coming out? Like I would just.
Yeah. So it was a lot of that, but in my latter years, I was smarter than my teammates.
Right.
So they always felt threatened. So they would do things to sort of sabotage my projects and stuff like that, and like get gossipy and like not help or not like for example, the last position I ever had, I told my boss, I said, listen, I'm head of marketing. Let me do the first hire. He said, well, I already have the person. It's a content creator. I say, okay, what are they going to create? He said, blogs. I'm like, blogs are out. We have to hire a video guy.
Right.
Well, I already told I was going to hire. I'm like, no, it's video's the future. Blog is out.
And no one's blogging.
Nobody's blogging.
Blogging's dead. It's up there with like Tout.
This is 2017.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a little blogging, but not.
Blogging was.
You were calling You were calling him. You were
calling the future, right? So she comes in, blah 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 blah. And I had already had a successful blog, right? So I was telling the girl how to blog. And she was like, are you mansplaining me?
Oh, boy.
I was like, oh. So then, we're having a casual discussion in the office. And I said, I'm into chess. And she was like, how can you like chess when they call the masters masters? Don't you feel offended from slavery?
I love chess, by the way. That's one of my favorite games. I teach all my kids how to play chess.
I love chess. I play it all the time. So like I'm literally working with a feminist who literally won't listen to me, can't take direction. And it was just an absolute nightmare. So I was like, you know what? I got to do this on my own. So I left that job and just decided to just figure it out, bro.
Let me because listen, leaving is tough, especially when you have kids.
Yeah.
And priorities.
Yeah.
And you don't know, and I'm assuming you were making a decent salary.
Yeah.
And how much and you got to bet on yourself a little bit.
Right.
That took me a long time, myself personally. It took me a long time to be like, you know what, this. I'm going for it, because I always think like, but I am getting a check right now. And
right.
My mouths are fed. Like, how much does that go into it when you start thinking like, you know what, man, this ain't for me? Yeah,
so I always had my own thing. So I was just stacking my paper. Making sure I had, 12 months runway. So if anything went left, at least I could survive and still pay bills.
Hold on, say that again. You did what? You prepared? Well, I'm sorry, you were prepared? I believe I said that at the beginning of the show. No, because this is stuff that, it's not just young brothers, young men in general.
Yeah.
They don't understand. No one's teaching them this in school.
Yeah.
You were prepared. See, I, at that point in my life, wasn't preparing. I was too worried about having a gold chain and trying to look successful.
Oh, yeah, I had did that in my early 20s. Early 20s, I was a mortgage broker.
In your 20s?
Yeah. I was a mortgage broker at the age of 20. No, 21. 21.
You took the test, all that stuff?
Back then, you didn't need to take a test. Oh. See, this was early days, right? So what happened was I was working at a Cheesecake Factory, and 8 guys come in and work at a mortgage company. And I take all their orders by memory. I had a photographic memory.
Right.
So the dude asked me, how did you do that and not mess anything up? And I was like, I kind of just took a picture of your face.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And did association. So he was like, yo, I got a job for you. So I'm like, what's up? And he was like, yo, come do this mortgage thing. And I was like, I'm kind of killing. This is Cheesecake Factory. I'm making $200 a night.
Everybody wants a cheesecake. Even though I don't like cheesecake, I've eaten at Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, $200 a night.
That spaghetti meal, the little chicken panini thing is phenomenal.
It's banging.
Yeah.
Like everything on
But you're not leaving there without eating 9,000 calories. That's the cold part. Like,
oh, no. You're
you're definitely.
Yeah.
You got to make that a cheat week.
Yeah. But I'm making cash bank every night. So what happened was at some point, a manager from my old job that another restaurant came, and he actually got fired for grape, okay? So when he saw me, his eyes lit up like, oh, snap, he knows my past. And I think what happened was I never worked a single Wednesday because I couldn't work Wednesdays. I think he went in and put me in as a Wednesday, and I got a no-call, no-show and got fired for my first offense. I was always first, always on time, perfect employee. And when he came in, I believe he got me fired. I can't prove it. So anyway, I leave that job, and I was in my car, shocked, and I looked down and I saw that card. So I called the mortgage place up. Yo, what's up with that position? He said, come on down. So I went down there. No salary, no hourly. You get paid 100% commission. I'm like, oh, this is tough. So I remember I was staying with my homeboy at that time. And he was like, yo, it's a scam. Don't do it. Don't do it. I thugged it out. first one I did was Argent was the name of the bank. I got like 1%. I think I made $400 on my first deal. So he laughed at me like, you only made 400. But I'm like, I know how to close a deal now.
Right.
The next paycheck, I came home with $5,000 and I just threw it on his bed like, boom, what now? So now I'm making big paper, but I'm blowing it all.
1,000, yep.
I'm blowing every last dollar.
Was it clubs? Was it cars?
I had a record label.
Oh, okay. So you were trying to come up.
I was trying to
get tracks and artists and
I had artists. We were in the studio. I was doing Funkmaster Flex mixtapes. I was just moving 1,000 miles an hour, But I had the fancy suits, the cars, the girls,
right,
the clubs, because you have to keep the image.
You have to keep the image up. And where does that? Okay, let me pause you for a second. Let's go back. Where does your work ethic come from? Like, what is you don't mind talking about your family back? Was it mom and dad? Was it mom? Was it dad? Like, what was it? Grandma? Like, who influenced you? Because we never talk about the brother with hustle.
Yeah,
we only talk about the LeBron James.
Yeah,
we never talk about the dude who like basically took 2 sticks and built a fort out of it.
Yeah, I don't know, like. I'm different from my parents. Like my parents were W-2 and so my mother, college graduate, master's degree, accounting for a large firm. My dad, one of 2 black electrical inspectors in New Jersey. My sister, doctorate degree. My brother, like super genius, 140 IQ, IT, runs a bank now. And I looked at all of them like, y'all all got bosses.
Right.
Like, you all
so you're the cynic.
Yeah, I was
the sarcastic one. You had the ability to do everything they did, but you had a little something extra because you're like, I don't want a boss.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want people telling me like what to do. Like, I don't
like
this.
I could not agree. That was my I hate.
I hated having bosses. I hated teachers. I hated authority. My family always called me a rebel. So, but I always had like this entrepreneurial, like, you know what it was for me? I just wanted more. Like I just have this desire that when I get something, I want more.
Right.
And I'm like, how do I get to the next level? How do I get to the next level? After I achieve something, I usually get bored with it. Like I have to move on.
I used to have this thing where once I would accomplish something, I would immediately start thinking about what I haven't yet. You never smell the roses. I remember one time someone said, "Hey, can you take a moment and just smell?" No, because I'm immediately thinking, like when they asked me to be full time on the Gutfeld show, I'm thinking, well, I got to get out on a number then, and I got to get on the 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got to turn this into something, and and it's just that you never. It's hard to sleep at night.
Right.
Like I have to shut everything down because if my brain starts going, it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm still thinking about an idea.
That's another one of my issues. I can't turn my brain off, but it's that thing of even stagnation is detrimental to me because stagnation will have me in my mind and I'll start thinking a whole lot of negative thoughts. So I'm the type of person who has to be busy. I have to have more than I can handle.
Right.
So right now in my life, I have way more than I can handle.
Because your list of stuff that you do is like, it's a lot, brother. Public speaker, tech advisor, author. You're a host. You're a podcast, and you're the host of which I always watch. I'll check out all the time on X. Hotep's Been Told. Your podcast. Your latest book is The Patriot Report.
Yeah,
Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War.
Yeah,
you're a marketeer, media personality. You got a movement.
Yeah.
Brother, you got a movement.
Yeah. Shout out to the Hotep Pastanis.
And then, which is a lot of people, here's the thing, we have a lot, it's crazy, we have a lot in common. Because although I did the bodyguarding route, I was with Snoop, but you worked with 50 Cent and developing that energy drink, which basically, that gave him forever money. And he's able to do all these cool things. I think I might have been in the same room with 50. I don't think I ever actually met him. I know at the time that I was with Snoop and stuff, everybody was kind of, I'm not saying they was hating on him, but 50 kind of came out in the club, changed everything. First of all, it became America's official birthday song. And I remember the first, I know where I was at. That's one of them songs that you know where you was at when that song dropped.
Yeah.
I was working at Club Vinyl in LA. I was the bodyguard they kept inside the club because of the door. I would always get in, I enjoyed telling motherfuckers they couldn't come in. Like I enjoyed it. Like I see a dude in a cheap suit and I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
So they would always put me on the inside and they're like, just stay. Anybody comes up here, just handle your business. Just don't fight. Just okay, because I had a little problem with that. And I'm standing there. And it was funny because at that time, Kevin Hart wasn't who Kevin Hart was.
Right.
But he used to stand out in front of the Club Vinyl in L.A. and like just try to talk his way and make jokes to get his ass in the club. Like Justin Timberlake and them would just stroll in, and I think he was dating Uma Thurman at the time. And there was all these people in the club and I'm just, stoically standing in my corner. And that song hit, it just dropped. And I mean, I'm not one to dance in clubs and shit, but when that shit hit, I was like, damn, oh, what the hell? Who is this? Like everyone was asking, like, who is this? And they're like 50 cents. I'm like, is that like who is 50? Like I'm trying to, because West Coast, we didn't know about any of his stuff, that he's with Diddy and like all that shit. We knew nothing about him really.
Yeah.
And Drake came out with Eminem and then he comes out with 50 cents. So I would imagine the other West Coast guys, that's probably why I didn't meet. He wasn't doing a lot of collabs. He didn't have to.
Right.
Like he has one of the greatest albums of all time when that shit dropped. But how did you because that drink it's a household name. Vitamin water is
I was zeroed out, right? So you ever seen that movie The Big Short?
Yep.
That wasn't me.
Damn it.
Yeah. So young kid, I making crazy paper, not saving any of it. There is no I don't know anything about the stock market, so I never invested a single penny. And one day I'm on the phone and I'm talking to a dude named Lee Duncan at a bank, and I'm trying to get a pre-qual on a mortgage. And he just picks up the phone. He's like, bro, it's over. And I'm like, what? It's over. And he hangs up the phone. I'm like, what? So I'm calling banks around to get pre-qual. Nobody's picking up the phone. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, this never happens. Usually you call a bank, you get pre-qualification, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't get anybody on the phone. The mortgage industry crashed right in front of my eyes. I was zeroed out. I had reached to the point where I was branch manager of a bank. So I had climbed all the way to the top of the industry, branch manager, killing it, just hired 2 of my homies and put them on, training them. I had actually 3 because I brought my boy Yolo on too. Crashed right there in my face.
Is that, do you struggle with that? Like when there's one, like you always, because I have the same group of friends I've had pretty much my whole life. Like, I got a few select, and you always try to bring them with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times
it don't work.
It don't work at all.
Yeah. And you shouldn't do it.
and I hate saying that.
You can't.
Because it's hard, man. Because what is it about this? I need to help. Because I don't see it, and I'm just, and maybe I'm just culturally, I don't see a lot of white dudes with like, yeah, man, I got my 2 hometown buddies on the job. It's always us that feel like we need to bring. Is it comfort? Is it insecurity?
It's a couple of things. It's number one is you feeling accomplished and you want to reach back. Another thing is you need a certain level of security. You feel safe with the homies around you, right? You know somebody's there to watch your back, right?
Because they're going to give it to you straight.
They're going to cut it to you straight, and it's fun. It adds a level of fun to the, it's not just work now. It's the homies. It feels
because it's not a power thing. It's not to sit there and be like, hey, I got you this job. No, that's not what it is at all.
It's not a power thing at all.
Is it ever guilt? Do you ever feel guilty?
Yeah.
Like your success is almost like you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that, and some of our friendships have waned because when they do come for help, and a lot, it's always thousands. It's never, and you're just like, the day you say no, the friendship ended. Yeah. And that's something that like you like, well, if you're looking back with wisdom now, well, that's a good thing that friendship ended because it never was a friendship.
It never was a friendship.
But then also now I'm alone.
Yeah.
And
so now I build my friendships off of being an asshole.
Yeah.
So I usually lead with
is it an asshole or is it just being direct? and honest.
It's direct and honest.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's like deluxe. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're an asshole for telling it to be like, hey, I want to actually no, I'm not going to do that with you. Nothing personal. That's just I don't miss business with this. This guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Or
I'm just direct and
he's
honest.
just being direct with you.
Yeah.
Because it was not like he got up and punched him.
No.
Grabbed him by the shirt and like shook him down.
That's exactly what it is. Because before, sometimes you lead with love and care and now it's like I got that love and care, but I got to be straight direct so that in the future I'm going to tell you no. So like the first time somebody asks me for something, the answer is no. Like no. Why? I just feel like saying no. Just so I set that benchmark that when I say no later on down the line, you're already used to me saying no.
Right.
Because there's going to come a time where I have to say no. Like I literally lost a friend recently because I fired his son. But he got mad at me. And I'm like, you weren't on the phone when I hired your son. Why would you be on the phone when I fired your son?
Exactly.
And I gave him a very simple job to do. I said, yo, run the social media. I give you $1,000 a month. 10 tweets a week, a day, 10 tweets a day.
And couldn't do it.
And he couldn't do it.
Or wouldn't do it.
Or didn't do it. Didn't do it, and I'm paying $1,000 a month just to knock that out. I could have paid my 12-year-old to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I lost a friend behind that. Like I haven't spoken to him in like a year. And it's just like, how I am in business, bro. Like I can't just waste money, I just can't waste company money. But, it's hard when you work with friends, and it's something that I don't think I'll ever do again unless we're both in cash.
Right. And because being in the entertainment, like every time I get like this, getting my own podcast, Planet Tyrus, there's always this need where a buddy's like, well, hey man, I really ain't got nothing going on right now. And it's like, and then I always struggle with this because I always feel like all of a sudden I look at all my friends as we're equals, right?
Right.
When the power dynamic changes to where they're coming to me, we're not equals anymore. And then I'm in that situation to where now I'm talking down to you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't like being talked down to, but then again, I wouldn't ask my friend for a job. I would go get a job. If that makes, know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we get into that dynamic. And it always ends up bad because when they ask, the answer always used to be yes. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed is that once you do it once, then it comes back around. Because I had a friend who could never pay his rent, right? He was always like $400 short here, $300. And, not a friend, he was my brother. Mm-hmm. And always. And it was always the landlord did this and his boss, the check was late. It was always like all the world problems seemed to just happen. He had a big ass rain cloud around his head around payday. There was always something. It wasn't those payday advances.
Irresponsible.
Yeah. And it was always, and finally one day, because it started out first, it was like $300. Then it was $400. Then it was, it's I need to cover the whole month's rent. Like $1,200. And like, and his attitude was like, well, you in the WWE, like you got money.
Yeah.
But not for you.
Right.
Like
I worked for this.
And to finally one day say, I could set a watch to it. The 20th, I was going to get a call that checks were late again. And like, his landlord is ruthless and he doesn't want him coming to his house and they've got small children. Could I come in and he'll get me back? Problem is he never got me back. No. And I finally said, bro, you owe me like 45 grand at this point. Like I can't do this anymore.
Right.
So how are we going to fix this? And this is a brother, my brother. And I'm like, how are we going to fix this? And I was like, hey man, why don't you just fly down and you could just do some work around the house and we can start taking some of the stuff and I'll help you. I'd rather pay you than give you money.
Right.
So, try to do all that stuff. And once people know you have it and they think they can manipulate you, that relationship is never going to be good. And all he did when he was going down there, this dude like snatched. I put $200 on the refrigerator on a magnet for the cleaning lady because I always put her money on the refrigerator. Bro, she's like asking me, calling me up, broke English. Did I do something wrong? I was like, no, what's going on, mama?
He on crack?
She's like, there's only $2 on the refrigerator. I was like, $2? No, I put 2 crispy C notes on that mug. What are you talking? And I'm flipping out and I called my brother up and he flew back home and he was like, oh, I thought that was for me so I could upgrade my Southwest ticket. I was like, okay, bro. The $200 with the post-it that says made on it.
He bought fentanyl.
He just
money.
wrote on it, man. But I didn't know at the time. While he was there, he was getting bank information and everything else. And the next thing, when you cut, and then eventually when you cut them off,
it hurts a little bit.
It hurts a little bit because you're never going to be the same again.
I did it recently. I got I was helping a friend because you know what made me help people was the pandemic. I was like, a pandemic hit people hard. So I felt like because I was in a decent position, I should help a little bit, right? So I helped a couple of family members, a couple of friends. So I helped people out, right? More than I probably should have, right? Paid whole rents.
Yep.
And it's 2025 now. And I got that phone call and I sent a couple of dollars. I got that phone call again. I sent a couple of dollars. Then that next one came around. I didn't pick up the phone. Then that text came. I didn't pick up the phone. And then I got that, hey, if you don't want me to contact you anymore.
Yeah, like anymore. Like the friendship, family's over because you're not giving me money. Like, bro, you had a whole year to get your shit together. That's like, I can't, man, it mirrors so much because when you finally say no, their answer is, I don't want to know you anymore. Right. You're the problem. Yeah. You're the stuck up rich asshole. Right. You're the Uncle Tom. You don't look out for your people.
And I'm not even rich.
Like, that's the cold part. Man, thousandaire at best.
I'm like a thousandaire at best. I got 4 kids. I got my own rent, and you still have to scale your businesses.
Yes.
Right? So so for example, it's like if you keep taking money from me now, I can't help you later.
No.
So let me get rich now, and then I can come back and be like, yo, I got a job for you. You can just sit here and do nothing, and I can pay you. I can just put you on payroll to sit in the corner and just watch my back for 2 hours.
I can remember when I was out of football, trying to get back into football, trying to figure it out. I worked at Pizza Hut, making lunch pizzas with a staff looking at me going, we used to watch you on Saturday mornings. Like, why aren't you in the NFL? Yeah, and I'm just trying to make this school pizza, madam. I'm just trying to, because I had to have something coming in.
Yeah,
so I'm working at Pizza Hut, and remember they offered me the position of manager because if you work, you rise up, and I was like, no, thank you. I'll just make my pizzas until I get the call, right? Yeah. And luckily I did get a phone call to go chase ball some more, but I remember those experiences working and washing dishes at Carlos O'Kelly's in Nebraska while I'm on scholarship. I remember having those shitty jobs stacking cans at Walmart, working construction for.
I used to fold baby clothes at Macy's.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I was a seasonal employee. Yeah, it was crazy. I went in and all right, check this out. Crazy story, right? So I'm at a house party. We're all getting high and drunk or whatever, and this white chick comes up the stairs.
Oh, shit, a white one. Okay, good.
Redhead, right? Beautiful redhead. She comes walking up the stairs. It's like slow motion. Music's playing in the background, and she's got like DSLs. And I'm super high, and I'm like, yo, you got DSLs.
Right.
Right? And I didn't mean to say it.
But you have no inner monologue when you're high.
When you're high.
Yes.
So I say it, and she starts cussing me out. And
sorry, I'm laughing. Staff just figured out what that meant.
So
sorry, the staff's like, do we beep that?
So she's chasing me around the house, right?
Right.
All right, so they finally calm her down. Fast forward, years later, I'm in for the job interview at Macy's.
Oh, no.
Who walks in? It's her. And she's like, I'm like, no, don't say that. I need this job. So we got cool. It settled down. But I ended up there, and I'm folding baby clothes at Macy's. And then the season's up. And they're like, hey, do you want to keep this job? I'm like, I wasn't supposed to be here in the first place, lady. She's like, but you're such a great employee. You show up on time. Your till's never short. I'm like, lady, I just come to do my job. I cannot keep folding baby clothes.
Settle. Because you'd be the best baby folder, and by now my Pizza Hut lunch pizzas would have been phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have made my own Pizza Hut store. I played my cards right.
Yeah.
That, bro, we ain't even talk like. I don't even want to talk about politics, but I have to.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There's a lot going on right now.
There is a lot going on, but one of the things that I pride myself on it. You do it consistently. You call balls and strikes.
Yeah.
You're not forever elephant.
Right.
You're not completely anti. You are straight up, this makes sense, this don't make sense. Mm-hmm. And for that, you're considered extreme.
Yeah.
Is that wild? Like,
I'm radical.
you're radical,
Yeah.
but you're just intellectual common sense.
Yeah. And the thing is, everybody's calling me radical. And I'm like, I thought you guys were the radicals.
I mean, even is it the braids? Do they just want to like? Is it? I mean,
that
I hate to say it, but like,
it definitely contributes to it. It's
You know.
it's the braids, it's the Timberlands. You know, it's definitely a little bit of that. It's my vernacular, it's my accent. It's a few things. But you know what it is? It's bravery. Bravery always seems radical to people.
yeah,
When you're ready to just speak your mind.
because that's something that a lot of people they only speak their mind if they know they have advantage. They only speak their mind when they're in control.
Yeah. Or when it's advantageous.
Yeah, and I think you scare people when you challenge control,
Right.
because a lot of people aren't comfortable with that, or they're like, "Why do you want to make waves?
Right.
You know, why do you want to be that way?" And I think during the pandemic, I think was probably, if you look like what's going on in England, I think with what they're doing with free speech over there, was it 12,000 arrests
Yeah.
for just basically tweeting or saying something online about somebody, or not even not like directly insulting someone, just saying like, "I'm anti boys playing in girls sports." Oh, go get his ass. Like that. We didn't get that far
Yeah.
because luckily the one thing about our country is we have the ability to reset. But do you think we could, if the election was different, do you think we'd be looking a lot more like London right now?
Damn, that's crazy. That's a crazy question because I never put my mind in a mindset where Hillary Part 2 won. You know,
Right.
I never put my mind in where Kamala won. You know,
Because if you remember, they had control of all the media,
right?
with a very few exceptions. But the one like Fox News was put on every ban list. Then you had
It would be a shitty America if she would have won.
social media was controlled.
Because, you know, I'm in crypto, so Trump's crypto regulations has just contributed to the crypto boom like crazy.
Oh,
Like,
bro, that, and I got into the stock market. I figured, I started Charles Payne. I was all over the place.
what time is it right now? Because I got a couple of trades right now.
9:43.
Oh, the market's open. I got an open trading view. I got options open right now. Oh,
See,
man.
we want to pull trades out? Hold on now. Let me check my Tesla. Hold on.
Trump's America. Oh, I'm up. Let's go.
Let me see here. Let me see.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
just
I'm a
check. No. You know
I'm
what?
a stock
This
nut,
is
bro.
good. I got late in the game, but I figured it out real quick.
Yeah, I do options trading. I do options trading.
No, I'm really dug into that.
Yeah, I do. Every once, I try to get one trade a week. I try to go long on something. I got an AMD option in right now. I'm long till next week. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Tesla took a hit this morning. Not bad though, because we're up crazy.
Tesla's been moving like crazy.
Yeah, I got into Tesla when it was down to like 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, here's the thing. When I saw all the car burning and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm going to invest.
Yeah, that was a
I
great
jumped
time
all
to
over
go.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started just doing that. Cracker Barrel. Everyone went after Cracker Barrel. I was like, scoop and score.
Yeah.
TKO, scoop and score. But
Yeah.
my current average right now, I'm plus 41,000 for the year. So I'm doing all right.
Damn.
I'm doing all right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so like that to me was huge. Trump comes in, starts deregulating, and now I'm like, oh, here we go. I can get back in my stock bag.
Right.
Because it was kind of tricky when, you can't just predict number go up.
Yeah, you didn't have Pelosi's guru mind with the stock market.
Yeah. So, if Kamala had won, crypto regulation, the stock market probably wouldn't be doing so well. Socially, the country wouldn't be doing so well. It'd be a complete disaster party. You remember Back to the Future Part 2 when you went back and Biff Tannen? I think that's what America would look like. Like Hill Valley, just
Kamala
completely
and a
destitute.
giant Vegas sky tower.
Yeah.
With everyone else. Because I honestly think that we weren't that far from people being removed for the voice. It was happening.
Yeah.
But remember, I forget that crazy ass lady who was singing about she was in charge of social media and she had the Mary Poppins song. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She basically she was going to be in charge of content and what was considered okay verbiage on social media and what was not. And of course, everything left was going to be okay. And everything right was going to be extreme. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was surprised that they actually pulled back on that because we were seeing just off the pandemic, any doctor that questioned. And like, when do we get into a point in this country where you can't question anything? Like science in itself is a question. Yeah. It's never fully answered. Yeah. It changes. You think you know something, and then you find out later on that you didn't know enough or it was completely different. I mean, we're still learning things all the time, and all of a sudden that stopped. So I agree. I think if Kamala got in, I think we probably would have looked more like a socialist country in terms of how we speak.
I'm glad you brought up Orwell because I'm a controversial figure when it comes to that topic, okay? Because I'm an anti-capitalist capitalist and an anti-communist communist.
Okay, please explain.
Like, I'm a capitalist because it's fun and I have to be. I'm naturally.
You live in America. You can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm competitive. I'm naturally competitive, right? It's just man stuff, right?
Right. Hey.
But I'm communist too because I'm like, if I was in charge,
right,
there would be no drag queen story hour. There would be no First Amendment if I were in charge. You know, you say something I don't like, I'm throwing you in a gulag. So I like certain elements of good fascist communism. I just don't like it when other people.
Right. Yeah. I like telling my kids what to do. Right. But if someone else tells my kids what to do, shit's on. Not on my watch.
Yeah.
But
you know
what? That's honest. And you know what? That's everybody.
Right.
Because that's why when people ask me, and it's funny, they'll say, hey, Tyrus, you think you run for president? And I think you'd be a great leader. I'm like, you don't want me as president.
You do not want me as president.
Because first of all, a lot of people I fired, they're getting a fucking visit from the IRS. Like people who did me, I'm coming for them, you know? So I always, and not to mention the fact that I agree there's certain things, because I'm always like, there is no such thing as hate speech. It's just speech.
Right.
But I do think there should be consequences for saying outlandish shit that affects other people.
Yes.
I think there's a difference between I believe this, like what you just said. I am a little bit of this and I'm a little bit, this is whom I am, take it or leave it. Yeah. But when you make blanket statements to where like, and completely false, I mean, just lies about people, and it's causing havoc or it causes, and you can prove it's connected to shootings or whatever, I think you should be held accountable. That's why I'm a big fan. I don't think politicians should have qualified immunity. I don't think they do. Like, I get it for police officers, but even then, it should be a case-by-case business. There should be some things that qualified immunity can't save your ass from.
Yeah.
If you incite a riot, if you are telling people that the only good Republican is a dead Republican, and then some crazy bastard goes out and shoots one, you should be sitting in the court at the same desk as that person. Because words that we always say, sticks and stones break my bones, and words don't hurt me. Well, words have become so powerful because words inspire.
Yeah.
They don't hurt you, but they inspire.
Yeah.
And whether you want to admit it or not, when you speak hate to somebody, that's their gospel. Somebody, like I get to be on TV every night, and I always think in my mind, hey man, whatever you say tonight, you got to make sure that you're not inspiring somebody for the wrong thing.
Right.
You know, so a lot of times
everything you say motivates people.
Right. Whether you want to believe
whether
it or not.
Whether you want to or not, it's going to motivate
and there's
some
responsibility,
action.
Sometimes I feel a certain way about something. I'm like, you know what? It's too controversial because they're not going to understand my context.
Right.
And I can't get it out. Like in gut feel, you got like, what, 45 seconds to a minute and a half. Sometimes it's better to not get into your personal stuff because there's not enough time to explain it.
Context.
You know, and God forbid somebody sees that shit and all of a sudden they're like, Tyrus is right. We got to, you know, because I'm, especially when it comes to morality with children and stuff, like there's no middle ground with me. I don't want to debate somebody who thinks it's okay for boys to be in the girls' bathroom. Right. We are never going to come to an understanding on anything. I'm an absolutist on that. No, at all. I'm also an absolutist when they try to shove LGBTQ stuff down my throat about how let's say one of my children is gay. The same rules apply to him as they would my straight kids. You're not dating. Right. You're not going to be sexually active at 14 and 15 years old. You're out of no. You know, the answer is no. So when there was one night in particular where they were talking about there was a government program for LGBTQ prom where they were providing sex stuff like condoms and I was like, whoa, excuse me? How is this okay?
Gotta arrest them.
Yeah, like how is this okay? And everyone was like, oh no, you're homophobic. No, I'm not. I'm a parent.
Yeah.
My gay child, my straight child, they have the same rules. There's nobody allowed upstairs in your room.
Right.
Dating is, you can hold hands maybe. And because I know mentally in my kids' heart, they're not ready for that. Most kids aren't, especially young men.
Right.
Young men, we have some of the worst ideas of what it is to know a woman.
If anybody needs sexual control, it's definitely the man.
Yeah.
Most people put the sexual control on the women. I'm like, okay, yes, I agree.
Yeah, they're in charge of the treasure chest, yes.
Yeah. But the men need as much responsibility as well, because men's biggest mistake in life is where they put their junk.
Yeah, 1,000.
That's going to be your first mistake. I think
Viagra should only be prescription, and you have to go to a therapist. Well, I think there's too much of that Viagra shit out there because dudes don't. There comes a certain point where when you're in your 20s, it's all you think about.
Right.
In your 30s, you think about slowing down and maybe finding a steady Betty.
Right.
40s, you like, hopefully you still got one left that want to be around your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then when you start groping on that 50, you're all of a sudden, it's Netflix documentary night, and I ain't tripping.
Right.
Because, when I was in my 30s and it'd be like, hey, honey, we're going to watch a movie in bed. I'm like, right. And the movie would start and be like, all right, when we actually going to watch this bullshit ass movie? And then you start sitting there and doing huffing and shit. And get up, storm, and like slam the fridge. And then 40, it's like you kind of throw an elbow like, hey,
fellas, if you're 40 and you want a little something for the bedroom, menoforder.com, go get your Apex. Coupon code HJX. I got a pill for you. Apex, menoforder.com. Coupon code HJX, 15% off. Works wonders. Thank me later. But you know what, man? I got something to get off my chest, man.
Do it. That's what we're here for.
We got to stop with the anti-Jew and the anti-Israel stuff, man. It's you know what it is? Is can you criticize Israel? Sure, I have no problem with that, but it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense.
You're criticizing them for responding to being attacked.
Well,
in one of the most heinous ways possible.
Well, my issue is TikTok.
Yeah.
Like the new TikTok purchase to like Larry Ellison's a Jew. And I'm like, wait a second. Okay. So I literally saw an anti-Semite say this. I'd rather have China have TikTok than Israel. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys cannot be serious right now.
Because they're so uninformed. It's just some ignorant shit.
I'm like, even if I hated Israel.
Yeah, I'm not giving China the nod.
No, I'm not giving.
China's literally telling you to eat detergent, you dumb mother. Like, what are you, like, they're literally saying, hey, put NyQuil on chicken. Like, they're literally teaching us how to poison ourselves, and it is a challenge. Like, come on, man. Like,
it doesn't
even make sense, man.
It doesn't even make sense, man.
Like and here's the crazy part is like now have you heard the newest conspiracy?
What?
Because you were a conspiracy guru.
Yes.
So October 7th was an inside job.
Oh, the bombing?
No,
the attack on Israel?
Yeah. It was
Who's saying
job.
that?
Because this Israeli guy came up to me and he was telling me, he's like, well, the drones, and we see everything in Israel. Everything. We have cameras everywhere. Everywhere. Mm-hmm. How they just walk in? We have drones. We have satellites.
But didn't they run a distraction? I thought they.
Yeah, I was like.
I thought Hamas had ran a distraction.
I think they went on one side and the other, but yeah. But he was just going on and on. He's like, it was over land rights, and they turned their back, and he was just going on this long conspiracy about it. And I just remember saying, you would rather, and I realize how people think. It's more comfortable for someone, and he lives in Israel. It's more comfortable for him to think that somebody on his side opened the door than knowing the enemy could kick it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the one that's circulating around.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and it's one of those things where you're like, I couldn't have disagreed with him more, but I also learned, like, sometimes just let him talk. You know?
Yeah. I like to hear everybody out.
I just let him talk. Like, it's an interesting
My thing is, I have to look at things through the lens of a perspective of a black male, right?
Right.
I have to. Just
Well, you don't have
society
the same
reminds
choice I have,
me,
yeah.
you know, and
I get reminded all the time.
Yeah, I'm always reminded, right?
Yeah.
If it's not somebody
We're the
screaming.
only race that our shit comes up over an opinion.
Yeah.
I've yet to see a Chinese guy lose his Asianness over having a conservative view.
Right.
From other, I've yet to see it.
Yeah.
How many white guys are being stripped of their whiteness?
Yeah. So, like, when I look at the relationship between Palestine and Israel, I have to choose the Israeli side. Historically speaking, because of the relationship between Arab history and my ancestors.
Right.
Like, my ancestors were literally enslaved first, like before the Anglo-Saxon. It was that Arab Inquisition into Africa, that Arab Inquisition into Europe, Western Europe, Southern Europe. So it's not like this Arab contingent is just some innocent group of people. Nobody's innocent on this planet.
Especially when it comes to slavery.
Yeah. And the most brutal form of slavery was actually carried out by that Arab contingent in that region, in the Levant, right? So, Malcolm X said, the chickens come home to roost, right? Like, sometimes, you take a L. The Ottoman Empire took a L. The Palestinians, God bless them, but this is remnants of an old war.
Yep.
And
you can see that because the difference between a Palestinian and an Egyptian, there is none in terms of DNA.
Right.
It's the same person.
Yeah.
It's like Ukraine and Russia. They share the same genetic code. And they will not let their ass in because they know the culture has changed them to be a warring group. And no one can say that. But your own people, this isn't, and Germany and everyone else is letting them in, but their own people, that if they held hands, you wouldn't know the difference. Said, hell, not just no, like built walls. Like, they cannot come in because their mind, their culture is against they're still in a place that we've grown past.
Right.
But no one ever says that out loud.
Right.
Even what you're talking about, any person who takes the time to want to learn about slavery, please do. Yeah. Because it's an ugly thing. It's an ugly part of our world history. It's how the world, unfortunately, how we came to be. But you can't not talk about Portugal. And you can't talk about the church.
Yeah.
Like, the number one commodity in the world there was three: sugar, gold, and human cargo. That was the three, and you needed the humans to get the sugar and the gold. So that was, and spices, right? Because apparently salt and pepper was the shit.
Spices were huge.
Yeah, you had to have a little paprika back then. You was balling.
You was balling.
But whom did that? Slavery. So I always, when they talk about, listen, man, what happened?
Which was taught to Portugal and Spain by the Arabs.
Yeah, the Arabs molded the world. No one, I guess, maybe people don't want to hear that, but that's really what it is. All these things, Africa is the beginning and end all of everything, and that is civilization. You turn a light on in your house, guess what, bro? They had lighted streets when we were still, half of me were running around with
it's amazing
sticks.
Technology. Like, you have, you got flight discovered in Africa, right? If you look up something called the bird of Saqqara, right? So there's knowledge of aeronautics. There is buried underneath that lake, Asma. I can't remember the name of it, but there's so much. So, for example, in ancient Kemet, there is actually knowledge of sperm, the smallest cell.
Yeah.
There's knowledge of sperm, so which goes like, wait, did they have a microscope? Because how is it that they
A lot of things that
know of the
I
sperm?
feel like, especially in African stuff, there was help. And at some point, we ran the help off.
Yeah.
And then it was the help made it to where like you're never going to advance. This much. I think a lot of our tech, and without getting too much into the alien thing, I think a lot of our technology is based off backwards technology from their advanced technology. We weren't able to recreate what we did, but with the stuff they left behind, we were able to make our own.
Yeah.
Like we have to use jet propel, and they had a different thing. They were able to. I think the wormhole thing is becoming more and more evident, being able to cut through stuff like that. Because if you just have a clear canvas and you just write facts down, when you see the artifacts, when you see the drawing, these people weren't making this shit up. Patagonia wasn't doing the same drawings in Africa that Africans were doing in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Like shit came down, helped us out, got weird. We kicked them out, or whatever happened. But whatever happened, and that may be the time. And if you want to get biblical, maybe that's what the flood was about. They tried to flood mankind out, but they picked the wrong apes to mix with. Basically, I think that's what happened. They just weren't ready.
Yeah,
they wanted the hands and the thumbs to move shit, but they didn't realize the aggression, and the instinctive ability of who we are to question shit. Because if you I don't want to get all into it, but I watch a lot of documentaries, but all my documentaries are animals. And the one thing that I watch nonstop is anything with chimps in it.
Oh, they got a great one on Netflix.
Chimp Empire. I probably watched that. I probably watched that 1,000 times. I go to bed to it
joint.
Because I watch it nonstop. Drives my family crazy. I'm like, I'm watching human behavior.
That's gang warfare.
Abrams. That's my guy. And Jackson's punk ass. His homeboys over.
Yeah.
When they set up shop, he was like, yeah, we gonna set up shop. We gonna get our own shit. They broke off and he was like, later, Marks, I'm in charge now. And like his whole deal was like, he's king, but he could never be alone because his homeboys was just looking for him.
Right.
Pork chops, little punk ass. I felt bad. Pork chop got smoked. But I'm telling you, man, if you have not, again, we don't get any endorsements from Chimp Empire, but bro, where is season 2? It's been a while.
Season 2 will be fire. It was wonderful. But I brought all of that up to say, when we look at Ukraine and Russia, when we look at Israel, Palestine, people always want to go back 10 years. And I'm like, have you ever tried going back 1,000 years? Because when you go back 1,000 years, you find out that Ukraine used to be called Little Russia. So now when you say Putin wants to annex Ukraine and saying, well, that's technically Russia, you're like, well, if we go back far enough, it used to be called Little Rus. So, and the Ukrainians will say, well, I got cousins in Russia, and the Russians will say, I got cousins in Ukraine. And it's like, we hate to see the war, but it's like the West is getting involved with something. They got the idiot Zelensky. And frankly, I'm like, man, if y'all don't let Putin annex that area and just make peace, bro, just. But we know why they don't want to. There's a lot of, capitalist ideas that want to come in. There's some money laundering, there's some Biden stuff going on, some uranium, so there's a lot of money that's involved in that situation from the West. And then when you look at Israel, you can't just, have we looked at, like a lot of people want to go back to the Rothschild, right? Or the Rothschild signed that letter, the Balfour Declaration, right? And I'm like, well, do you want to go back a little bit further than that to when, like maybe World War I, to when Britain actually took over that territory? Like that's British territory.
Right.
That's technically not Israel. Do you know what the British would have done to Palestine?
There wouldn't be it.
There wouldn't be a Palestine.
There wouldn't be a Palestine. It'd be Britain time.
It'd be Britain time. Hey, right? So it's just like, people act like Palestine has some autonomy, and Palestine wasn't even a country.
No, still isn't technically.
It still isn't technically.
I mean,
Palestine was not a country. It was a region. of another place. I think it was part of Syria, actually. But it's like people have to do their history before they get into stuff.
Well, that kind of ties this all into a bow, because I talked about in the beginning about how go back and look in history to find the answers.
Right.
And you just put a button on it. Go back a little further.
Go back further.
If you're so concerned, like one of the things I hear about like reparation talks and things like that, I'm like, go back a little further, because find out exactly whom deserves reparations. I don't have a problem with it if it's done right. Me personally, I don't want it because...
I got the reparations conversation sewn.
Oh, well, please enlighten. Break it down for us.
Dems must pay.
Yes. Okay.
The DNC owe me some money.
The DMC. Okay, I'm with you on this.
Democrats,
Yep.
we keep voting for them.
Yep.
If I go into the store and I buy a good and the good don't work, I need my money back. So I've been paying taxes to Democrat strongholds. I've been hiring you for a job. You ain't been doing your job.
Break bread.
It's time to give you.
What's a fair rate?
A fair rate? I don't want to pay no more taxes, and I need all taxes I've paid back.
So what you've
Plus
accrued to
some.
put back, what you've invested, because you invested, you didn't get what you wanted out of it.
But you got to also factor in the money I would have made
had they not been trifling.
Had they not been trifling, and had I had that money and invested it, right? So when we look, and my thing is, I hate when Republicans say they're anti-reparations, because your main argument is Democrats are ruining the black community and you guys keep voting for Democrats. Well, I'm like, well, if you know Democrats are ruining it, then you know the argument for reparations.
For the Republicans to cut a check. Because it
might force them.
I personally keep the money. I would go for a lifetime tax credit. Like we good. Like, hey, just whatever's owed,
right?
We just X that out.
Yeah, if I get a lifetime tax credit, that would be nice.
That's what, that's what my one phone call to the president is going to be. And be like, hey, look, man, Tyrus, I was wondering if me and my buddy Hotep, we have an idea. This is a crazy idea. Just hear us out.
It's just for me and Tyrus.
Yeah, just for us, just to try out and see everybody else, man. We got to just take care of it. If we could have a pardon from the day we were born till 2076 for all federal charges, which would then mean we wouldn't have to pay taxes. And we could do it brash. Be at the restaurant and be like, oh, that's what I have my card, my rep card.
Trump card.
Yes, right there, my reparations card. It's gold. No taxes on this one. Cars. Yeah. Oh no, with the tax write-up.
That'd be so nice.
That would be nice, and I think that would. Although my ancestors would be like, we came over from Jamaica, make a life. Your job was to work. That's the thing that reparations. It's that and it's opportunity. Just keep making it to where the opportunity is there for everybody.
Right.
Because you are a living example of being able to keep reinventing yourself, taking on new challenges. Hard work always pays off, and being direct and using common sense might not make you the most popular dude in the little circles, but you will sleep at night. And two, your legacy is intact, because it's hard. Integrity lasts after you're gone.
Yeah.
Accountability lasts after you're gone.
Yeah. Because
you will become inspiration to the next young brother or whomever that decides that integrity, hard work are the things that I want to live my life by. So with that, man, I just want to, again, thank you, bro. It's always like I got to have you back.
Thank you, man.
Always.
Great conversation.
Hey, where this dude, he's on X all the time. Yeah. You got your live things you pop on there all the time.
HotepJesus.com. All my links are on HotepJesus.com. Go to HotepJesus.com and go visit the website. My supplements are there. I got supplements for health, immune support, brain support, libido support, sleep support. I got it all. Yeah.
Jack of all trades, master of some. Hotep, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
One more time. All right. All right, now it's time for Coach Tyrus real quick. It's a very simple thing. Fellas, open the door. Just open the door. You see a lady walking up, hold the door open. Doesn't matter if she likes it or not. It's a good thing for a man to do. It's a good feeling. Just hold the door open. It's a nice way of saying that you are, one, a sane, rational individual and a good man. Start little things. It's always a little thing. Make your bed in the morning and open doors. If you do little things, they lead to big things. And never, ever leave your damn shopping cart in the parking lot. Put that shit where it belongs. It's 10 extra steps. Those type of things. Holding doors open, putting your grocery cart away.
Put your cart away.
Just put it away. Damn it. That's the easiest thing to do. It's a person who gets things done. And I see a couple of guys in that thing shaking their heads. I know that we got some bastards on my team who are not putting their carts away. And gentlemen, we will find you. We will out you. I will put you on social media. So just be warned. If you're going to be on this team, you hold the door open when a lady comes over. You put your carts away. Period. Simple. And make your bed. Make your bed in the morning. If you make, I know I hated having to make my bed as a child. And I'm married, so she makes it probably 70% of the time. But when I'm home, for the 3 days I'm home a week, I make the bed every morning. Bed made, because I know my day is starting on the right foot. So that's my coaching tips for you. All right, fellas? And again, guys, you have 48 hours to clean up this cart stuff. So I think that dude who's laughing right there, yeah, put your cart away. You're hurting your mother.